So guys, there are a lot of videos out there on selling digital marketing services for your agency. But the truth is there's a lot of aspects to selling these services that aren't discussed by a lot of these other trainers and gurus out there. So in today's video, we're gonna reveal a bunch of the secrets to landing clients and selling services for your agency. So stay tuned, we got a good one for you. All right, welcome back everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Jordan Steen, also known as Serial Entrepreneur, and at this channel we talk all about starting a marketing agency, building your own personal brand, or really just using digital marketing to build your business online. So if you're interested in any of those topics, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell in the bottom right hand corner, and we'll update you with all of our newest content, resources, tools, downloads, and giveaways that we do at my channel. And did you know that a big reason why people struggle to land clients is because of the fact that they're actually pricing their services wrong? And not to mention, they don't know really what services to include. So make sure you stay tuned to the end of today's video and we'll give you access to our complete pricing guide and blog. And we'll actually give you a downloadable item that you can use to help price all of your services. So guys, let's go ahead and jump into some of these secrets, or the truth really, about selling digital marketing services. And understand we're going to cover some things like cold outreach. We're also going to cover networking. We'll talk about messaging and emailing and calling, all of those different aspects. But before we get into talking about that, there's something that's the most important thing of all with selling digital marketing services, and that is your education in digital marketing. The biggest reason, or the biggest issue that people have with landing clients or selling services, is the fact that they don't really truly understand what they're selling. Having a basic understanding of digital marketing is not enough to land clients. You really have to be able to explain at least every service from start to finish. And the reason why that's so important is because if you understand how to do that, you're going to feel more confident in your ability to present that pitch or service to a particular client. And if you know anything about sales, you know sales is all about having confidence in the product or service that you're selling. So by, again, having the education or the necessary information readily available in your head, it's going to make you more confident when you're sitting in front of a group of 5 or 6 people who run a major business and you're trying to get a $10,000, $25,000, $30,000 contract. So now that we have that little caveat out of the way, and it is something that is super important, guys, I strongly suggest really taking the training and education side of digital marketing seriously, because it will help you with your sales and services. But now that we covered that, let's get into some of the specifics with selling digital marketing services. So first, let's talk about cold outreach. Did you know that your first 100 are going to suck? All right, so what do I mean by that? Basically, what we're talking about, guys, is your first 100 calls, emails, messages, whatever it is that you choose to do, really suck. And the reason why is because either one, a lot of you don't have sales experience prior to this. And I'm not talking about, I used to bartend, so I sold drinks and food to people. I'm talking about true corporate version of sales, where we're going to other businesses, we're selling B2B, and we're trying to sell thousands of dollars worth of contracts. So since you have no experience, you don't know what already works and what doesn't work. The truth is you don't have the necessary skill set yet to understand how to sell and how to present, how to approach different business owners, and then not even that, but who should I be talking to? Clearly the decision maker, but how do I get past that gatekeeper, right? And all of these are things that you have to try and figure out, and you're going to be trying to figure out in your first 100 calls or interactions with other people. Another thing that I want to mention is the lack of outreach. What people actually, I get this comment a lot, like seriously a lot, or a message or an email from people who are my viewers or students, and they message me and they'll say, Jordan, I've already reached out to 25 people and I haven't gotten anything back. Well, number one, a lot of you are just starting. So again, you're going to have a lower conversion ratio. Let's just say on average, your conversion ratio is 1% starting out versus someone who's been doing this for a while, where their conversion ratio is probably anywhere from 7 to 10%. Why? Why is that different? Or why is there that difference? Because number one, they know how to qualify businesses better. They know what to talk about, what services to talk about that are going to interest them. And then when they finally get in the room, they know what to say to that business owner to make them buy, to build the relationship, and to really get them to trust them. So the point I'm trying to make is, guys, 25 is not going to be enough. If you have a 1% conversion ratio with 25 people, that's about 2.5 people. And that's just setting the meeting. But to be honest, guys, in the beginning, you're going to have, 1.1% conversion ratio is actually pretty generous. It's actually probably going to be more like 0.3 to 0.5% when you very first start out, especially with cold outreach, okay? So understand that it is a numbers game. Every sales business, every sales practice, whatever you want to think of it as, is always a numbers game. The more people that you reach out to, the more likely you are to land a deal. So my opinion, my suggestion to you guys, and this is from personal experience, I used to be in the same exact position you're in right now. The biggest thing that you can do to help your business is to start contacting 50 to 100 people per day and do it on one medium. So do 50 emails per day or 50 messages per day or 50 cold calls per day. But that's really where you have to start to understand it is not just I'm going to reach out to 50 businesses and I'm going to land my first deal. Again, a lot of you don't know what you're doing yet, and that's what you're learning how to do through this practice. It is just like any other experience or any other skill set that you try to learn in life, it requires practice. So again, to wrap up that little section on cold outreach, I strongly recommend 50 to 100 businesses per day, okay? And I know, it seems difficult to find businesses in your local area. It's actually not that difficult. You need to learn how to use Google search, which I'll go through really quickly. I'll go through an example in a minute. And then you also have to understand that you're not just going to be, if you have a niche and let's say you're doing attorneys, you're not just going to be able to stick in your own state and find enough people in the beginning that you're going to be able to use to build out those contracts for your agency. You're going to have to probably go outside of your own state to build up enough of a lead list. All right, guys, so we're at Google, and what we're going to do is we're just going to type in lawyer in Atlanta. And what we're going to do is if we go to the maps results, we'll see right here, it's only showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 12, 13 different attorneys right here. But I know for a fact that there are more than 13 attorneys in Georgia. And the more I zoom out, you can see the less attorneys it's actually going to show me. It's getting smaller and smaller. So what you actually have to do is you're going to want to zoom in. So let's just say I want to focus on the Midtown Atlanta area. So far it's showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 11, 12, maybe 13 attorneys right here. But if I zoom in on the map, it's actually going to start bringing up, look at all of these attorneys that have started popping up now that I've zoomed in. So you can zoom in even further, and I bet what'll happen is it'll find other attorneys who didn't show up. So Stern Law just started showing up. If I zoom in again, that other one might pop up. There was another one here. Here it is, the Huddle Law Firm, right? So you can see the closer I go in, what this is actually doing is Google is showing you businesses that are really relevant first, right? These are going to be the best performing attorneys' offices with regards to like SEO and local search. The more I zoom in, these are actually probably businesses that need a lot of help because they're not showing up in local search results, or at least not in the top search results, right? And it shows you that there's actually a lot more businesses around than you may think, okay? So learn how to use Google Maps and Google Search appropriately so that way you can find enough businesses to reach out to. And then start making your list of all of those businesses with contact information, and don't break it up. One big thing I think that people do is they start to kind of lose efficiency throughout their prospecting process. And the reason why that happens is because they'll find one business and then they'll call that business or try to reach out. Build your entire list of people you want to reach out to first, and then spend a whole chunk of time just going through the outreach portion. So build the list, get all the contact information first of like 100 to 200, and then go and take that list of 100 to 200 and start reaching out to people. So a lot of this can seem kind of confusing, and you might not know which businesses to reach out to, or how do you know if a business is even going to be worth it? What do you give? What happens after you land that first meeting? What happens after the first meeting? All of that information is important. So if you're trying to figure all of that stuff out, you definitely want to check out this video up here in the top right hand corner on qualifying, or not qualifying, but the 5-step process that I teach to all of my students and viewers on how to land clients. So that was a good little segue, but let's talk about the first meeting really quickly. The first thing is you have to ask the right questions. If you're going in and you're instantly trying to sell a business services, like you're clearly not aware of what sales is like. That is the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, is they go into that first meeting and they're already trying to sell something to someone they've never even talked to before, built a relationship with, or tried to provide value to. So stop going in and trying to sell services. Ask questions about their business, their goals, what they've done in the past, what their revenue's like, what their customers are like, all of those types of questions. And then you're going to move into the proposal meeting, which is that next meeting where you start to talk about services and pricing and all of that. Another key thing to this first meeting is people not having a true understanding of value. A big issue that I've seen is people will take the digital marketing audit that you guys have seen me teach about. If you haven't, go check out my YouTube channel for it. But the digital marketing audit is a form of value for a potential customer. The issue is people create the audit and then don't provide any solutions in the audit. They say, you need to make these changes. Cool. How do I make those changes? You need to actually provide real information to these business owners that shows that you're not just here to take their money. You're actually trying to give them a guide on how they can even do it themselves if they don't want to pay someone to do it, right? So really showing true value and understanding the real meaning of value is super important. And then finally, a lot of people don't get to the true root desire that a business owner might have. So if I go into a business and I start talking to them and they say, you know, we're interested in this because we're trying to make more money for our business. Well, that's given, right? Every business wants to make more money. What's the root reason why they want to make more money? Well, I want to make more money because I want to be able to hire an office manager so I don't have to be here 5 days a week, okay? But there's a deeper root meaning than that. Why do you not want to be here 5 days a week? Well, so I can spend more time with my kids. So the real desire that this business owner has is to get out of his day-to-day operation so much so he can spend some more time with his kids. Your proposal, your conversation, your pitch, everything past finding out that true desire should focus on bringing his goals for his business and his desire for, using you as a marketing service to come back to his actual root desire for the reason why he reached out to you in the first place, right? So finding that root desire is super important, and then using it to your advantage throughout the sale is going to be even more important. And then lastly, let's talk about the proposal stage. So you've done your first meeting, you go back to the office, you create the proposal, you come up with the marketing campaign and what it might look like, you come up with a bunch of the pricing and services you're going to offer, and then you go to the business owner to, present that proposal to them. And again, the issue here is, especially if it's the first time you've ever gone into a business to present a proposal, you're going to feel super nervous and you're not going to know what you're doing because you've never done it before. There's a couple tricks here. Number one, just practicing as much as possible before the first meeting, and just getting meetings to pitch proposals to actual business owners is going to be the only way that you can really learn. So don't beat yourself up when you don't land your first deal or it just doesn't go the way you want it to go. The trick, guys, is understanding what failure really is. Failure is when you give up, okay? That is true failure. Failure, though, in the sense that you didn't land the deal, is actually more of a learning experience. So use it to build on your skill set. If you did something wrong in that first meeting, understand what you did wrong, write it down, and then figure out what you can do to eliminate that from ever happening again. But if all you do is you look at the failures and you never try to improve or fix those failures, you're going to be stuck in the same place. Another issue is you guys probably don't have references, right? Because you've never done this before, and that's going to come up. Business owners want to see that you've been able to do this for other businesses in the past. The only thing that I can tell you to do here, guys, is to work for someone before you take on your first client. That's why I tell my students all the time, don't rush into getting your first client because you're actually going to set yourself up for failure. What you should do is try to get someone either in your family or a close friend or someone that you can work with that you can actually try to get some results for their business, whether it be improving their search rankings or running an ad campaign, but something where they will give you a testimonial saying you did a good job, right? Outside of that, you have to show your willingness and eagerness to want to help their business grow. Mentioning things like, you're a new business and I really want to see your success because your success, or really my success, will be dependent on your success since you are going to be my first client. It sounds like it might not be effective, but business owners truly do like just honesty. And the more honest you are with them and you show them how eager and willing you are to do as best as you possibly can for that business can be a selling factor. And then finally, again, we mentioned it in the beginning, a lot of people lack confidence. And the confidence factor to selling is probably one of the most important because if, again, I don't feel comfortable in your ability, which comes from me being able to visibly see that you are lacking confidence in your ability, then why would I buy from you? I don't want to give you $5,000 for you to maybe be able to turn that back around and at least make me break even, right? I want someone who comes in and says, yo, we're going to make you $20,000 off that $5,000. And for them to say it every single time with that much confidence and that much conviction within what they're trying to tell the business owner. So just make sure that you guys are truly confident. Work on your presentation. Work on how you stand, your posture, your talking, making sure that your voice isn't shaky, that you're not talking too fast, or that you're hyperventilating inside of a meeting. Because trust me, that's actually one thing I did in my first meeting. I was kind of sitting there breathing all heavily, and it was because I was nervous. I didn't feel comfortable doing what I was doing. And there was no way that business owner was ever going to buy from me, right? So understand confidence does play a huge role, and do the things that you need to do to make yourself feel comfortable so that way you can feel confident. Which, P.S. guys, if you are going to, or if you're about to start presenting or building out proposals for particular clients, then, or at least prospective clients, check out this video up here in the top right hand corner. It's all about our proposal and our template and what we use to actually pitch to businesses. Promise you guys will love that one. Oh, and P.S. I kind of just hinted to my first sales experience a little bit there where I was talking about, almost hyperventilating in the sales meeting. If you want to see the full story, we actually left it right below in the comments. So go down there and check it out. And then leave me, if you've already been into your first meeting, I would love to see what your story is like or what your first sales experience was like. So leave a comment telling me about your sales experience as well. All right, so let's look at some of my primary methods for landing clients. The first one is going to be networking. And what I like to do is what you see here on my screen. When anybody first starts off in a sales business, I do this with all of my sales reps, but what I have them do is create what is their immediate network and extended network networking lists. All right, and what that means is we're going to look at the top 100 people that I know and that the people that I know. So basically what that means is I'm going to start off, mom. And then that's going to be immediate dad. Dad will also be an immediate connection, right? Because he's my dad. What would be an extended connection? Let's just say my dad has a coworker named John. And John, or not a coworker, but knows a guy named John where he lives, and John runs a business. That would be extended, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make a list of at least 100 people through my immediate network first. You always want to start with your immediate network. And then once you finish everybody in your immediate network that you could think of that might possibly own a business, know somebody who owns a business, or thinking about starting a business, we're going to make those people or put those people in the list first. Then once we create all of those people that we could possibly think of, we're going to say, okay, go back up to the top. Who does mom know that might own a business or need marketing? And then we're going to list those people down. I might not have the contact information or the company or the role, so that's when I'll reach out to my mom and say, hey, do you know this person? What's the company? What's the contact information? Put it in this list, and then I'll start rolling from there. But the networking list, the top 100, is one of the biggest things you can do because this is everyone that you know. And people who, this is what I don't understand, people who don't not use, I don't want to say use the people you know, but people who don't take advantage of the fact that they already have a network that they've built throughout living, just being a person and just being a human being. They already have a network. So use that network to your advantage. Don't just let it go. It is definitely one of the best sales resources you have. So some other methods, guys, are going to be things like Meetup, number one, which is actually really funny, 420 Canna Girls right here, because cannabis is illegal in Georgia. But anyways, you want to use meetups for meeting up with other people, for finding training opportunities, because training opportunities are actually really great ways to land clients, where you actually go into a meeting and you present training on, let's just say, Facebook marketing and how small businesses should be using it in 2020, right? That's a great way to get yourself out there, show that you're an expert in your field, and be able to talk to business owners directly. But meetups are a great way to do or to find new potential clients. I also like Facebook groups and events. So there's this group called Good Morning Cherokee Networking, and what they do is they host a breakfast. I think it's like twice a month. And so what I do is I have a sales rep go out to that breakfast, meet new business owners, and then boom, we're landing new deals just from them going out and having breakfast with someone and talking to other like-minded people. Next is going to be the Chamber of Commerce in Atlanta. Any chamber, any city, even the smaller cities like Roswell, Marietta, all of the smaller cities that surround Atlanta also have their own Chamber of Commerces. So you'll want to join as many of these as you possibly can and start going to their events and their meetings, because they're all business owners. That's what everyone is there for. Well, most of them are business owners. Some people are sales reps too. And then finally you have BNI, which is Business Networking International. I believe that's what it is. International? I always get the I mixed up because I always want to say initiative. Anyways, it is a great networking opportunity. I have actually had students or people who have viewed my channel and seen other videos where I talked about BNI come back after going to one of their events telling me that they've already got 4 leads for potential clients. Because the goal behind BNI is to actually help business owners find leads. Every single meeting that they go into, they have a session at the end where they do a lead swap. And basically, from the previous week, they'll have talked to somebody or found somebody who was looking for a specific service. This person knows that at his BNI meeting that this person provides said service, and so they can connect those two people together. It's actually a requirement by BNI. So if you're looking for somewhere where you have to bring leads and you have to really commit to the process, BNI is going to be that great foundation for you guys. But again, they do charge, I believe it's like $400 for the year, but guys, I'm telling you that $400 will generate you easily $10,000 to $30,000 in your first 6 months. So it's definitely worth joining. And then finally, to wrap everything up, I would mention cold outreach, which is emailing, messaging, and calling. All of those three forms of outreach for potential clients are great methods. They're just not my preferred method. I like going and meeting people, going to events, networking with other people who are like-minded to try and build relationships and find connections that way. But if you want email, messaging, and calling, those are great options too. And the cool thing is you don't have to, it's less of a time commitment. Once you get really good at it and you get efficient at it, it's less of a time commitment than networking is. Networking does take a little bit more of a time commitment. So if you're willing to put in the time, then networking is going to be your best bet. It also might take a little longer with networking to get your first client, but over the long haul will be more productive and more valuable than cold emailing, calling, and messaging. Why? Because I'm building relationships with people that will last versus sending one-off emails and calls and messages to people that I'll never connect with again, that can't help me past that one interaction, right? So guys, that is it for this video. But since you stayed till the end, like I mentioned in the beginning, if you want access to our pricing blog, plus our pricing template and download, make sure to go right below this video in the description. You will see a link to our pricing blog and outlining guide. Make sure to check that out. That's gonna help you there. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about selling and landing clients for your agency, make sure to leave that in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna get out of here for now. But until then, Serial Entrepreneur out. Ready to start living the six-figure, work wherever, be your own boss lifestyle? Well, at Serial Entrepreneur Academy, we'll teach you how to use a laptop and internet to start your own social media and digital marketing agency. Get started with our free Facebook ads training. Links in the description below, guys. See you in the course. Serial Entrepreneur out.